Well, good evening. Welcome to Emerson Institute at City of Light. I'm Dr. Paul Gretz, and I am so excited you've joined us for tonight's class. Coming to you live from Emerson Institute, located at City of Light, 3125 Presidential Parkway in Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight's class is the second series of 8 weeks. It's class number 7, and it is all about the law of creation. This is the Neville Reader being this exciting textbook that we've been looking at, studying chapter after chapter, all about the essays and writings of incredible author Neville Goddard. He's just captured so many nuggets of truth for us that excite us and enable us to have a dynamic faith and really charge us with insights into our spiritual development for spiritual enrichment. So happy that you've joined us. Now, just as a reminder, next week will be our last class in this series, and we're going to be beginning the week after that, so that's in 2 weeks, a brand new class entitled Basic Principles of Science of the Mind, and this is by Frederick Bales. Now, this book you can purchase on Amazon.com. You can go to Amazon and purchase it. I think it's very affordable, and it's a great workbook that not only will give you the insight in reading, but there's questions and a little study guide associated with it as well. It's going to really help you understand some of the foundations of what we've been talking about in Science of the Mind. So if you're just beginning with us and you're still trying to grasp all of these incredible insights that we're throwing out to you, say, how do I put it all together? Well, this is one of the basics or beginning books. So it'll help you to really establish a strong foundation in the New Thought journey. So I encourage you to pick up the book well in advance so you've got it and you can start reading before we begin this class, again on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. So to prepare for tonight's session, let's just refocus our thoughts and let's just pull in a fresh new awareness of this moment, of this now, because the Spirit of God is always speaking to us and we want to be open to that very voice. So we're going to reset our thoughts, reset our focus, reset our vibration as we take some deep breaths. We're going to breathe in together through our nose, hold for a moment, and then release through our mouth. And we're going to do this 3 times, 3 nice deep breaths. And in doing so, we reset that vibrational frequency to be more in tune with this moment and just release all the stress, the cares, the distractions of this world as we breathe out. All right, let's join together. Take a deep breath. Breathe in and release. Deep breath in and release. Deep breath in and release. And now in a moment of silence, let's set our intention for that which we desire to transpire in our life during this time that we share together. And so it is. All right, let's dig in. This is class number 7, the law of creation. Hopefully you have your note packet in front of you. By the way, if you're ever looking for notes or you'd like to have class notes, they're available for you and we can email them to you on the day of each class session. Please let me know by reaching out to me at revtpaul@aol.com. My email address, again, revtpaul@aol.com. Letting me know that you're interested in the notes, and we'll see that our registrar, Dr. David Carter, sends them out to you so that you'll have them in advance. They're sort of cliff notes of the chapter, help us to understand a little bit more, what we're discussing, and just great notes just to follow along and review even after the class is finished. Now, during our class session tonight, if you have a question or a comment to offer, I greatly appreciate it. Please take a moment and type it in. We are live, so we love to answer those questions or hear your comments through our live streaming of tonight's event. So Dr. David Carter is watching the Facebook for us, and if you are typing in a notation or a comment or a question, he'll be able to flag me down and we'll be able to discuss it or share it, answer it, or just welcome your insights as we process this teaching together. So we encourage you to interact, and let's make this as live as possible as we can by sharing comments or questions. We appreciate that. All right, let's dig in. Now, when it comes to the ancient truth of the Bible, it is filled with Eastern symbolism, and it always is telling a deeper story. And we can't emphasize this enough, how important it is that we don't take the Bible literally, but take it seriously. Every time we're looking at Scripture, we're looking at our own individual story. For the Bible is the psychological drama of the soul. It is telling our story of how our life unfolds. And as we see each character and each nuance or symbol within the Scriptures unfolding, we're really finding clues as to how to live our life to the highest and best. So we want to look to Scripture through the eyes of great Eastern symbolism that the writers included and used as tools to help to explain a deeper meaning. Eastern writing, of course, is so different than Western. The Eastern style of writing in those early days of Scripture are, in the ancient times, they were writing from a perspective of very symbolic metaphor, parables, etc., all helping the reader to understand the deeper truth. Now, for us in the Western world, we're so used to everything being black and white and very literal. So quite often we have a hard time understanding the symbolism. And we don't always understand the meaning behind words or names, etc. And we miss out on these nuances that really take us into a deeper understanding. So let us look at one of the Bible stories and see how the prophets and writers of old revealed the story of creation in Eastern symbolism. We're going to look at the story of Noah and the ark, and we find that Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, the name Shem, which means name, and Ham, which means alive, and Japheth, which means extension. So we find the symbolism behind each one of these words. And I really encourage you that if you have a metaphysical Bible dictionary, you can look up names within Scripture and you can find the meanings of them. The initial Hebrew intent of explaining or symbolically portraying a deeper truth, well, it'll help you to understand it as you look through a metaphysical Bible dictionary. And we need to stop and notice that the names of these 3 sons contain the formula of creation, as does the divine name of Jehovah. Remember last week in our class session, we began to break down the syllables of the name of Jehovah, the different letters in each one, what they meant, and how we put that together to find and discover the true understanding of the formula of creation. Well, we find it also within the names of the 3 sons of Noah. So let's first review from last week's session. The symbolic name of Creator is known as Jehovah. It's composed of 4 Hebrew letters, Yod, J-O-D, He, H-E, Va, V-A-U, and He, again. So we have these letters forming together that which we call Jehovah in our English pronunciation. Now the first letter, Yod, represents that J would have a Y sound. Yod represents the absolute state of or consciousness of the unconditioned, meaning the pure, not jaded, not limited. Now, this is the consciousness of the I am within us, God within us. In that consciousness, there is no limitation. For we are now dwelling in the presence of the I am. And that which we say following the I am is our expression of the divine unfolding through us. So I am successful. It is God bringing about, unfolding our highest and best, our great success. I am well. I am whole. I am healthy. The divine within me is manifesting, bringing about that which is within me. So whatever you're putting after the I am is you're speaking the very essence of God at work in and through you and unfolding in a certain way. He, or He, represents the only begotten Son, a desire, an imaginary state, and it symbolizes the idea or clear mental picture. So let's just simplify it, and let's just say it represents our desire. So first is the I am. and then we couple it with our desire. We say God within, and this is how God within is manifesting. So Va, the next letter, symbolizes the act of unifying or joining together the I am with the desire, and that they're coming together so that the conceiver and the conception become one. And this is fixing a mental state. Consciousness becoming one. Defining yourself as the state desired. I am well. The state desired is well. I am successful. The state desired is success. I am prosperous. The state desired is prosperous. So you're joining together with the I am, the desired state coming together. This is the creative process. For when we begin to proclaim from within that this is our truth, and we begin to speak it, that word goes forth and it manifests. Our word always goes forth and it produces. It is a creative energy that we speak. Now, this is the believing that is living in the feeling of actually being in the state imagined. So this Va letter really is believing that I have already received, I'm living as if the I am and my desire have come together and have already manifested for me. And the last letter, He, again, this is the understanding of the Yod, He, Va, makes man or the manifested world in the image and likeness of itself. So it bears witness to the meaning of previous letters. So the world then is the image and the likeness of the subjective conscious state which created it. So what we have is you're simply expressing the first letter, the I am, the desire. The third letter then is saying that which is the I am and the desire have manifested together. And now your world is now manifesting or bearing witness of that which you have spoken and that which you live to be true. And how you are living as if is now being revealed or manifested in the world around you. This is Jehovah. This is how we describe God. The very power of the divine at work in us, through us, around us, and for us, this creative process, is us simply acknowledging first the knowing, the intellect that God dwells within us, that I and the Father are one, as Jesus said, that we are in oneness, and that the I am is dwelling within me, this power and presence within me. So I now speak my desire, and I know that that which I've spoken, my desire, the I am, and my desire are one together. Now I'm living as if, and now my world is responding to that. That's what God is all about. Now, again, we struggle with this imagery of God being this being up in heaven, sitting on a throne, wearing a white robe, having a long gray beard and gray hair and speaking English. We've got all this kind of ideas of what we may think God is. And God is none of that. God is this divine presence, this infinite wisdom, this intelligence that is all around the universe, everywhere. And that intelligence is that which we call Jehovah. It is the I am coupled with the desire, living as if and manifesting in our world. Now, let's look at the symbolism of the names as we've talked about the sons of Noah. Noah the father is the conceiver, the builder of a new world. That is equivalent to the first letter of Jehovah, Yod, or unconditioned consciousness, the I am. So Noah symbolizes the builder of a new world. And the I am is the creator or the builder of this world, of this universe. Shem then is your desire, that which you're conscious of. It is the equivalent to the second letter in the divine name, that letter He, H-E. So we find that Shem being the desire and Ham is the warm or the live state of feeling, which joins or binds together the conscious desiring of the thing, the consciousness desiring the thing, and it is the equivalent to the third letter of the divine name Va. Now, Japheth means extension, and is the extended or objectified state of being witness of the subjective state, and is the equivalent to the last letter in the divine name. Wow, we got a lot to break down, so let's put it all together. What we're actually seeing then is the symbolism of God being revealed and seen in and through this very story of Noah and the ark. Symbolic in the choice of names that the author is using. So what we find is in this symbolism, again, an echoing of us understanding how the creative process works. Do you notice in the Bible there's a lot of repetition? So it's repeating over and over again, yet using different characters to tell the same story or to reveal to us the same truth over and over again. That repetition is helping us to understand it in fresh new ways. As we read each new story, we realize Moses being one who leads people to the promised land, Jesus being one whose teaching leads us to a promised land, a land of higher consciousness, a land of knowing, a land of understanding these divine truths. You see, the stories are being repeated over and over again for us to finally awaken to it. The more we hear it over and over again, the more it resonates within us. So you are Noah. You are the creator. You are the knower. And the first thing you give life to, that you create or think of, is an idea or a desire, the word or your firstborn. So you are Noah, and you, the first thing you do, you give life to, is that firstborn. And that, what's your firstborn? But that's symbolic of you give life to your desire. So there's a moment when you awaken to this wonderful power within you, and then you awaken to, oh, I see that power unfolding in me in this specific way. I see myself, the divine power unfolding in me in wonderful, loving relationships, in success, in abundance, in health and wholeness. So we are giving life to that desire, symbolic by the firstborn Shem. Your second son, Ham, is then the feeling by which you're joined to that desire. So you become or are conscious of possessing the thing desired. So you have this feeling, and again, there is this desire, this knowing, coupled with this feeling. We talk about the masculine of knowing, coupled with the feminine of feeling over and over again. We put these things together, and that's the creative power, the masculine and the feminine coming together to create the intellect and the very emotional or feeling, joining together. And then the third son is Japheth, is the confirmation or the visible proof that you know the secret of creation, that you understand it. So you begin, it's the living as if, it's the knowing, it's the now that you've transformed your life from just, I hope, to now, no, I know. I don't hope anymore. I'm confirmed with, I am filled with a confidence and an assurance that this is my truth. I know this to be true. So now in the story of Noah, it is recorded that Ham saw the secret of his father, and because of his discovery, he was made to serve his brothers, Shem and Japheth. Ham is the secret of the father, Noah. It is through this feeling that the consciousness of your desire is joined to the thing desired. So what happens is, Ham is this feeling, and it serves Shem. It serves the knowing. The feeling serves the knowing. The unlimited consciousness of the Father joins the limited consciousness of the Son through feeling. So let's use an example. Something we know to be true is now joined by the feeling, and the feeling serves that. The feeling gives us confidence. The feeling gives us assurance. The feeling is that ignited faith at work. When we begin to say, I am believing for my health and wholeness. I'm believing that I am well. And I am believing that this health is unfolding into greater levels than ever before. What's happening is that word that you're speaking, that believing, is now coupled with this feeling. That feeling is serving it Next, the feeling serves Japheth. The world is made visible by that feeling that you have. So let me tell you this. You can express a lot of things, claim a lot of things, but if you don't feel them as if they are so, there's doubt. There's all kinds of hesitancy and questioning. And what happens is then your world doesn't manifest it, but it's when you feel it is so. And you have this sort of confidence that surges up within you, and you feel it to be so. I can't emphasize enough how many times that it is important that we say, I believe that God is doing something wonderful in my life. Oh, but when we feel God is doing something wonderful in our life, it begins to manifest and change. So what we find is that this feeling is serving the knowledge. It is birthing. It is the feminine. The feeling is the feminine emotion, and it is acting like a womb, impregnated now by the knowledge. It carries, it nurtures, it begins to form and create through the feeling, through the feminine, that which we so desire to be true in our lives. And our world is transformed by it. This is the metaphorical understanding of this ancient truth. Now, it's deep. And we have to go over and over again to kind of, what? This seems kind of heady. How do I get it all in my mind to really understand this? But you see, ancient scripture was designed to be repeated over and over again, that the reader or listener would receive the truth each time deeper and deeper and deeper, and becoming more comfortable and confident in the study and in the seeking of knowledge, and it unfolding for them. So the ability to feel the unseen as true, as real, is the secret of creation. The secret by which the word or unseen desire is made visible, made flesh. And in the scripture, and God calls things that they be not as though they were. This is the very essence. How about it we begin to have this kind of faith that says, I call out my success in a world of chaos, in a world of this pandemic, when success is not abundant, and so many people are struggling financially and losing their jobs or their businesses. But instead, we call out our success. We call it out, and we begin to feel it from within, knowing that as we speak it, there is a feeling rising up within our being, within our soul, and we are now living as if. And that's so important, because this is how faith operates. Now, so often we've just kind of like, faith, well, faith is believing, it's praying, it's begging, it's pleading. Yeah, faith isn't begging or pleading. Faith isn't manipulating. Faith is walking and living in confidence and assurance. It's done. It's finished. And so it is. Or amen. The amen is the and so it is. And we're living the and so it is life. That's the life of faith. And the scripture is trying to teach this over and over again, to understand that the creative process happens in this powerful and unique way. It happens when we begin to know God is within me, the I am. And when we begin to express our desire and know that the I am is, shall we say, married to or unified or in oneness with that desire. And then we live as if it is manifested, and then we just live in the realm of and so it is. So consciousness calls things that are not seen as though they are. To be in divine consciousness, to be in the realm of God, to enter into the kingdom of God that Jesus talked about. It's stepping into this consciousness that begins to believe, begins to proclaim, begins to see through the eyes of the Spirit that things that are unseen are now to be revealed. And it does this first by defining itself as that which it desires to express. So I define myself as I am, my desire, healthy. I am, my desire, successful. I am, my desire, prosperous. It's joining with this, and I'm expressing my desire. And second, by remaining within this divine state, remaining in this idea that I am whole, and I hold on to this, and my faith is not wavering, it's not fluctuating, I'm just proclaiming it over and over again until it manifests. So I want you to know that the power of God is ever at work in your life. And you are an amazing manifester. You may not realize it. You may not be comfortable with that. You may not say, what? I'm not a manifester. Oh, you'd be surprised. Sometimes we're manifesting things that we really don't want. They're not really our true desire, but we're manifesting them because we say things like, I'll never get this. I'll never be prosperous. I'll never be successful. Oh, be careful. Your word is going forth, and you are manifesting. And you wonder then why your condition is not the level of what you desire. You're not experiencing your prosperity or blessing or health or wholeness or loving relationships. You wonder why? Because you've already manifested the opposite. And we need to be careful. Even though we're ignorant of the law is still at work. And the law is that very law or spiritual truth that that which we speak is so, that which we believe or as we think, so it is. So as we think or as we express or as we give voice to something, so it is. It is. Now, if you've been calling yourself fat all these years, I'm so fat. Well, honey, then you are, because that's your mindset. And then you have this poor body image because you're wondering why you have this poor body image because you kept believing that you're not perfect, that you're not whole. You're believing in your body. You've just been cycling through this thought, and then it keeps manifesting. Now, what if we begin to shift our thoughts and begin to proclaim, I'm healthy, I'm whole, I'm fit. And suddenly, our whole world begins to change as we begin to give voice to that. Because we then begin to see the unseen, and we start to live as if, and health and wholeness begins to manifest within us because we keep proclaiming, I'm healthy, I'm whole, I'm fit, shall we say. I am living in this perfect body, perfect God working in and through me in this perfect body. And suddenly, before you know it, everything begins to shift and come into alignment. People have said to me, you know what? I've started to embrace that kind of consciousness and speaking it. And I realized I'm making better food choices. I'm realizing I'm not necessarily, choosing those unhealthy items. And because I keep proclaiming I'm healthy, the subconscious within me is calling me forth to make better choices. And I'm more concerned about my fitness, and I'm in greater health, and I'm taking care of myself much better than I did before because I began to proclaim I am and express the desire, healthy, whole, fit, whatever it may be. Now that Noah's identity is established as our own consciousness of being, we are Noah. Let's name something that you would like to express. So what you need to do, knowing that the divine is within you, that you are Noah, giving birth to the firstborn, giving birth to the second, giving birth to the third, these different names, you are giving birth to these concepts. We need to begin by defining clearly what it is we desire. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is that we begin to bring clarity to that which we desire. The old saying, what happens in vagueness stays in vagueness. And that clarity doesn't have to be necessarily a material concept, but a material concept or a picture of something that you desire. Let's just say you're desiring to purchase a new car. And you cut out a picture and you put it on your vision board of this beautiful red Toyota, as an example. That's what you want. Well, again, what you want to say is this is symbolic of what? The feeling. Because the feeling is the very womb where it begins to manifest. So let's be clear about the feeling. What do you feel about this red car? Is it comfort? Is it prosperity? Is it success? Is it safety? Is it that you feel like, oh, this is the kind of car that is spacious, I could share and I could give people a ride, or I could give back to the world, or I could haul things, or what's the feeling that you're desiring? And be clear on that. I most recently went to purchase a car, a new vehicle, and I had a certain model in mind and a certain style and a look of a vehicle. I was looking for an SUV style because I wanted to have a vehicle that I could haul things in my ministry back and forth to the church, or be able to haul things for my own personal use in my home. And I was looking for something, of course, that would be comfortable and serviceable and reliable. These were the feelings I really wanted. So when I went to the dealership, I had a certain model, certain style of car in mind. But I went and I sat in this car. I was looking at a Cadillac XS, and I was really interested in this, and friends had one, and it just was comfortable and easy, and we found a used one that was very affordable. But when I got in it, it didn't have the feeling. I didn't feel all these things. It was like, no, this isn't the right, no. And even my partner said, no, this is not the right. Yet, that's exactly what we were holding in mind. It was symbolic of the type of vehicle we wanted. But we sat in several of them and we didn't get the feeling. And so the dealer said, well, you know what? We've got our sister lot is just up the hill, and it's a Buick dealership, and we, come on up there and take a look at the SUVs we have there. And we stepped on the lot and found this beautiful 2017 Buick. We envisioned a gorgeous SUV, and we sat in it, and the interior was lovely. And Robert said, this is it. The feeling was there. So we allowed the universe to lead us to what we felt was what we really wanted, because we were pretty clear about the feeling. And we allowed the material attachment or the visual. It wasn't a Cadillac, and it wasn't the SUV what we found was even better. And we were much happier with it. And the deal was much better. The maintenance price was much better. And the warranty, everything about it was just, again, universe putting everything together. So as we begin to live out our spirituality, and we say, this story is us. We are the Noah. We are the consciousness of being. We are living the I am. We need to begin to define that desire clearly. All right, we've got a question here.
I think we talked in another class about if you're clear on the feeling, are words even necessary? And I believe we talked about the male and the female come together, and so it is important to use the words and the feeling. But what you're suggesting sounds like you were very clear on the feeling, and it had to be connected to an SUV because you had a particular purpose in mind for that. But you were thinking of like a Cadillac, something along those lines, and you were specific. But when you got in the Cadillac, it didn't line up with the feelings.
Right.
So, but why? Because you had a specific idea and you had a specific feeling.
Because here's the concept that we want to add to the mix, that the universe knows our highest and best. And I love this or something better. So we may hold in mind a visual like the Cadillac. It was symbolic of what I was looking for, but when I sat in it, I didn't have the feeling.
Well,
this or something better unfolded for me. So we're open in this feeling to say, universe, you guide me to the right and perfect vehicle.
So you went into it before getting into the Cadillac, knowing it was really just a symbol of what you wanted.
I was thinking, well, it could be it, or it could be something better, because we were open to anything. That's right. When the dealership said, hey, do you want to look at Buicks? We didn't say, no, we're only stuck with this Cadillac, and we're going to sit in as many Cadillacs until we get the feeling. No, we just said, no, we're open to Spirit leading us and guiding us, because we hadn't really thought about the Buick Envision. And when we got in it, it was like, whoa, this is exactly what we were feeling. And it's just a different model, or, Cadillac or Buick, it's just a shift there. But it really captured everything that we were visualizing in mind. It was actually better than the Cadillac. The interior was like brand new, where the Cadillacs that we were looking at were used, and they'd seen some wear and tear. They looked like the interior looked a little scratched in some places. Like, okay, this didn't quite look like as nice as what we were thinking we'd like to purchase. But when we sat on the Cadillac or the Buick, it was like, whoa, the interior is like, this is a brand new car, isn't it? No, it's actually been used. So, this or something better unfolds for us. So this is why I want to say be very clear on the feeling. You may use some visuals, like a picture of a Cadillac or something, that begin to lead you in the right way, that say this is it. But couple it with a this or something better. Spirit, lead me to the right and perfect thing. And I think these are the key components. When we go into anything that we're looking for, we're just saying we want the right and perfect thing. And Spirit may know better than us, knowing that the Cadillac was a better deal than, the Buick was a better deal than the Cadillac. And here we were thinking, no, Cadillac, this, but it wasn't a better deal. So the Buick was. The universe led us and guided us because we didn't even think Buick, but the dealer said, hey, you want to go to our sister lot? Oh, yes, we're open. We're open to the this or something better. So if it's leading us to the something better, we're going there. All right, David, you had a question or comment.
So in defining clearly your desire, you defined the characteristics that you were looking for.
Exactly. Look for the characteristics, that feeling. Now, here's the thing, because we've got a lot of people who say, no, I am defining clearly, it is this red Cadillac, it is this model, it is this thing, and I'm not going to accept anything less. That's my material vision. But the feeling doesn't match up, so what do? Oh, you go ahead and buy it anyway, and then you're driving and you go, I don't like how it feels. This isn't right. So be careful that we're relying so much on the material image or manifestation and that we haven't worked with the feeling of that which we desire. Because too often, we've used the illustration of, the woman looks on, she's like, I want that man, and that man's going to be my husband. And she got that man, and she goes, ooh, how do I get rid of that man? Because he is not the husband I wanted, But you looked at him, you thought him, you saw them, and he became your material image, but he didn't evoke the feelings of what you were really looking for in a loving relationship. All right, do we have another comment?
Yes, from Josephine.
Josephine, great. I'm glad you joined us tonight. Thanks.
I am a 73-year-old widow since the past 4 years, and I would like to manifest a relationship with a man my age because I have so much love to give, but I am afraid that I might fall for the wrong man. So how can I successfully manifest a loving, kind man?
How can you manifest a loving, kind man? Let's be clear about your desires. So again, we're emphasizing over again, what's the feeling that you would like to have in this relationship? So possibly you'd like to feel secure, a man that makes you feel secure, a man that makes you feel valued, appreciated. So these are feelings that you want to make sure. A man that maybe is truly a partner and treats you equal, not less than, and respects you. So we're looking at these kind of feelings versus, I only want a tall, 6'2", dark-haired husband who's, got big muscles and a small waist or whatever it may be, and I'm looking for these physical attributes all the time. And we get caught up in that. We may get that kind of person who has all these physical attributes, but doesn't offer you the kind of loving relationship that you desire. So focus in on your feeling. And as you desire to manifest, begin by knowing that the universe is bringing you that man. He's coming to you. Now, if you're looking for someone who's already your age, let me tell you, that man is already created. He already exists. So you know that the universe, that you put out this in the law of attraction, That which you desire, you're expressing on a day-to-day basis, and you're expressing and I invite you to every night before you go to bed, begin to dream that that man is right there with you. That loving partner, that husband that you desire, that one that you want to share life with is there. And whatever he may look like, you're focusing on the feelings you have of this loving relationship that you're sharing with your beloved. Focus on that every night and live as if your partner is there. Now, let me encourage you, because if you believe that the universe is bringing you the partner you desire, you better get ready. Have you cleared out some drawers in your dresser? Where is he going to put his stuff? Is there room in the closet? Did you make room in your life in so many different ways for this man to come? It's like people praying for rain but not carrying an umbrella. You know, if you're praying for rain and you're believing rain is coming, honey, you better have an umbrella. So if you're believing for this man in your life to come into your life, then I encourage you, get ready. Make a space for him because he's there. All right, another question?
Yes, this is from Josephine. But I don't go out and socialize much anymore, unlike before.
Okay, so you need to just allow the Spirit to bring him to you. Certainly as you move, just be conscious of the people that you're meeting, the people that, different opportunities being available. Do your best to make yourself available in some networks with family and friends. People may know of someone that they want to introduce to you. This is a wonderful way of connecting with someone, but just hold in that desire. The universe knows exactly your desire. So let me tell you this. Years ago, I was single, and I was looking for someone in my life. And so I stepped out in desperation and just began to ask anyone out on a date. If you're alive and breathing, I was asking you out. I dated 40-some people in 52 weeks. That's for speed dating, right? It was crazy. All the people that I met, I think, could smell the desperation in my life and found it very unattractive to be so desperate. I had to release all that and just say, Spirit, you know, the right and perfect person is there for me. And so I just began to relax and rest. And let me tell you this, quite often, when you are not looking so desperately, you will find that person. Because that desperation is almost saying, I'm so desperate, I don't have. So I'm grabbing at anything in desperation because what I'm echoing over and over in my life is, I don't have. But now let's switch to relaxing and saying, I have a relationship. I have someone wonderful. I'm feeling it. They're coming to me. The Spirit is bringing them to me. And what happened in my life is I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I just knew that someone was there waiting for me. And my first Sunday as the new minister here, strangely enough, my life partner came to church. He'd been invited by some friends. He'd never been to church, to this congregation at all. He sat in the second or third row, and I shook his hand as I met so many people. Didn't think much of it. But it was a couple weeks later, we saw each other at a social gathering, and he said, you look familiar. And I said, no, it couldn't be. I just moved here. He goes, no, I've seen you somewhere before. I said, well, let me try this. Are you, by chance, have you ever been to City of Light? And he goes, yeah, my first time. I was there. And I said, well, I'm the minister. Oh, that's how, So here we actually met, and it was just this divine connection that was experienced. You see, the Spirit had been preparing his life to meet someone as the Spirit was preparing my life to meet someone. And I was very specific about the feeling of what I was looking for in someone. I was looking for a partner, someone to share life with. And when I met him, I just felt this instant connection of partnership, of the feelings that I so desired, that I just knew that this is the person for me. And we've been together now 20-some years. Well, so I'm believing the same for you, Josephine, that as you hold in consciousness that that beloved is waiting for you, is coming to you, and you already have that person, and you're already feeling that kind of love in your life, live as if, and it will happen. All right, another comment?
She just says, thank you so much. You have explained it so clearly. God bless you.
Wonderful. And I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. So, Josephine, keep us posted about who that man is that's coming into your life, because we're going to already visualize it. We see you having this wonderful relationship. If this is what you desire, then just be so clear in the emotion and the feeling around it. And what's going to happen is you express, I am living in a loving relationship, as you proclaim it, as the universe hears that desire and will match that desire. And those words become to attract and pull to you that which you are manifesting, you're believing for in your life. Now, again, what we want to make sure is that as we define it clearly, that we feel that we have it. And we don't question how it will be done. Because this is the craziest thing. I want to tell you this. In my desperate dating, in my desperado moments, I began to question how this is going to happen. And I thought, I need to make this happen. I need to force this. And in that energy, wow, people are like, whoa, 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 stay away from him. Dates were like interviews. Like, well, so do you have a job? Do you have a car? Do you have this? And people are like, I don't want to be on a date like that. I don't want to be someone interviewing me for a job. I want someone who just meets me for me. But do you see, I was living from the idea of lack. I don't have. And I don't know how. So I'm going to make it happen. So I want you to instead assume the feeling that it is so. So assume the attitude of mind that would be yours if you were already in possession of this wonderful relationship. What's the attitude? Oh, I'm feeling so complete. I'm feeling this wonderful love. I'm feeling this sense of partnership. I'm feeling this companionship. I'm feeling this wonderful sense of security, of a beautiful relationship. So assume that mental attitude. Now, these are so crucial for you in attracting and drawing to you whatever it is that you're manifesting. So experience the joy of Ham, as found in this symbolic. Experience the joy of the feeling of Ham, symbolizing the feeling, that he finds in serving his brothers Shem and Japheth. The joy of making the word or name become flesh. So our feelings, they love manifesting and bringing about that which we so desire. But we must bring forth the feeling of that which we desire. So, Josephine, just each night as you go to bed, it feels so good to be in relationship with this wonderful, loving man. I feel it. And the divine is bringing him. He's already there. I know he's there for me. I know I have this wonderful partner, this wonderful beloved in my life. Begin to feel that and know that the joy of that feeling, the joy, this feeling loves to work with the knowing. So as you're expressing the desire, the feeling, it just merges beautifully with the I am. I am partnered. I am married, whatever you'd like to say. I am in a relationship. I am, the God within me, is already knows the desires of my heart before we even ask. So let me tell you, Josephine, the universe already knows that you're desiring. But you need to be specific about what you're desiring. Let's go on to the next chapter, which is the secret of feeling. Now, the secret of feeling is told in the story in the Bible of Isaac. Isaac, who was blind. And he was blessing his second son, Jacob, in the belief based only upon the feeling. So let's just break that story down. So we find Isaac has two sons, Jacob and Esau. Esau being the firstborn, being more of a hunter, fisher, kind of gathering kind of guy. And Jacob, the secondborn, being one who was more nurturing and domestic and loved cooking and taking care of things around, shall we say, the home life. So when it came time for Isaac to offer the family blessing and to bestow this wonderful, shall we say, endowment of everything of life to the firstborn, as was the tradition in ancient times. Esau said, let me go out and I will go and hunt and bring you back some venison, some deer meat, and cook you a wonderful meal, and then we'll offer this blessing. And Esau, Isaac, whose sight was failing, the father whose sight was falling away, just kind of operated by feeling. Now Esau was known to have very hairy arms, and he was the hairy one, shall we say. And Jacob, the other brother, was more, shall we say, not as hairy. Okay, so in the story, Esau goes off to hunt. And while he's off hunting, Jacob and Jacob's mother plot together, and they said, "You'll go in and receive the blessing." And but how will he know that I'm Esau? Oh, we'll take some sheep's wool and bind it to your arms. He'll feel that, and he'll feel the hairy arms of Esau. He'll know it's Esau, and he'll offer the blessing to you. So Jacob and his mother make this plot. They prepare a delicious meal. They prepare it in a way that the lamb tastes just like the deer meat, the venison. They go in and serve it, and the father, oh, wow, this was quick. This is great. And where is Esau? And Jacob steps before him, and oh, yes, you are Esau. He feels the arms. Oh, yes, this is who it is. And he offers the blessing. While later Esau returns and said, Father, I'm here, and I brought you this meal, and we're ready for you to give me the blessing. And Isaac says, no, I already gave you the blessing. Now, here's the message hidden in the story. We can't take this story literally. The blind father, Isaac, is your consciousness, your awareness. The hairy son, Esau, is your present objectified world. The present moment, your present conception of yourself. Esau is then the world you know by the reason of your senses. Now, the smooth son, Jacob, is your desire. An idea that's not yet embodied. It's the state that is seeking your birthright. Okay? The father is blind. He does not see the smooth-skinned son Jacob, but only feels him, as though through this sense of feeling, he actually believes Jacob to be Esau. You do not see your desires always objectively. You simply sense them and feel them. So, you may not always see Josephine, this beloved person who's coming into your life, but you can feel in your heart, there's someone wonderful coming to me. You may not see it, but you may feel it. So Isaac says, come close, my son, that I may feel you. And here is the method by which the invisible is made visible. Send your firstborn Esau out hunting. That means take your attention away from the problem. Because quite often we're so focused on the problem. The problem with the problem is we see it as a problem. We don't see it as an opportunity for solutions to unfold. So send your firstborn out hunting. Second, with your eyes still closed and your attention removed from the problem, consciously focus on your desire. Focus on what you really want. Now, remember, in this Bible story, you're Isaac. You're blind. But your sense of feeling is what is really speaking to you. So feel the desire as a reality. And what happened is Isaac felt the arms of Jacob as a reality, that this was really Esau. Third, in the absence of Esau, who symbolizes the problem, invite Jacob, the solution, to come and fill this space. So instead of us so focusing over and over again on the problem, send that problem out. Just say, problem, I release you. And now my mind and focus is all on solutions. I want to just focus on being open to solutions, to the resolution of this problem. Feel it to be in your immediate presence, as if it's right now. The solution is here. I feel it. I feel the solution right here and now. Now, Esau, the problem, may return from the hunt. That's so true. We may be feeling the solution, and then the problem was, oh, but wait. You don't have, or you're separated from, or you're lacking, and this problem wants to come at us all the time. But you've already received and established the blessing. You have felt the desire fulfilled, and it can't go back because you already feel it as so. So even though the problem may come back to your mind, you're living in the solution. You're living in the answer. You're living as if it's already there. A friend of mine who was looking for a job began to feel as if he had a job. So he began to change everything about his lifestyle. He redid his resume. He prepared for any kind of interview. He laid out interview clothes. He was ready to go living as if he already had a job that was waiting for him and that he was going to be gainfully employed. And he felt as if he was gainfully employed. And he allowed that feeling. Now, the problem may still come to him saying, but wait a minute, you don't have a job. Why are you dressing for success? Why are you working on this resume? Why are you doing all this? You don't have a job. That's the problem. But you've already entered in the solution that says, I already have the job. It's already out there. It's unfolding for me. And you cannot go back. 20 years ago, I applied to be the pastor here at City of Light in Atlanta, Georgia. And I sent my resume in January. I didn't hear from the pastoral search team for months. Finally, in May, 5 months later, I called and said, hey, are you still looking for a minister? I haven't heard from you and you haven't responded in any way. Are you looking for a pastor? Oh, yes. In fact, we've been going over the resumes and we're interested in you. Would you mind flying down and visiting with us? So I met with the pastoral search team. We talked for hours. I talked for hours. We had a wonderful time. And when I left, they just said, okay, well, we'll call you. I flew back to the city I was living in at the time, and I resigned from my pastoral position there. And people said to me, well, did they offer you the job? I said, no. Well, why are you resigning here? Because I'm going to be the pastor at City of Light. Well, did they offer you the job? No. Well, what makes you think you're going to be the pastor there? I just know. I have the feeling. I have touched the arms of Esau. I have touched the Jacob, and I have seen it as if it is so. That's the illustration. So I gave an 8-week notice. It was during that time of 8 weeks, it was until the very last moment, that City of Light did call me and say, please come down for a week of interview and preach and speak before the congregation, and they'll vote whether they'd like to receive you. I did so. And after it was the end of the week and they said, we're going to vote on Sunday, suddenly they said, wait, no. We're going to pray one more week about it. People could have said, see, you didn't get the job. It wasn't offered to you. The problem wants to come back. Esau coming back from hunting, that problem wants to come back to our life and get into our heads. But I was already living as if I'd actually lived it as if to the extent that I had resigned my job before I even gotten the other job, but I knew it was going to be mine. And when they finally called and said, you are our new pastor, congratulations. Well, it confirmed that which I'd already been living as if. So this is why it's so important that we feel it to be in our immediate presence as if it's now, as if. Because now, Esau, the problem may return, but you already have the established blessing. You already understand it. It's so. So when you're living as if, even though the problem wants to return, you're still living knowing the solution is there. Now, with this knowledge of your power to bless, you can open the doors of any prison, remove any difficulty, and overcome any obstacle. How beautiful that is. When we understand this, that we begin to speak the desire of our heart in the sense of knowing. And that knowing, coupled with the feeling, creates the va, the manifestation. And it manifests in our world. You have another comment?
Josephine, she's saying, but Esau was deceived by Jacob, so he had the feeling, but it was to the wrong person. She's a little confused.
So, yes, Esau was deceived by Jacob. In other words, Jacob stole the birthright, shall we say, from Esau. But the story is a metaphor of our life. Let's look at it. If we are the Isaac and we are operating in the blind consciousness that operates through feeling, then no matter what comes our way through feeling, feeling will manifest for us. And Esau represents that which was sent off hunting, as if the problem is there, and released, because the story is about the birthright coming to Jacob. It's not the story of the birthright coming to Esau. So we're really looking at the key characters of Isaac and Jacob, not Esau. Esau being a minor character of the story. So we in this story are the Isaac, the blind consciousness, the consciousness that begins to work and operate through feeling, and Jacob being the desire that we so want, and Esau being that which is the obstacle in our pathway for the desire. So many people have looked at, this is a story of deception, of Jacob cheating. It's a story of all these kind of things, and we've looked at it from the wrong perspective. When we really look at it is how the desire has manifested in our life, how it unfolds, and how the creative process works within us. So I encourage us to hold in consciousness a clear feeling of that which we desire. And the Spirit will match that feeling. It will be there when we live as if it is so. I can't tell you how many times that this principle has been at work within our lives here at City of Light. And the opportunity for it to unfold in such a beautiful way, as we are also open to the this or something better. And the this symbolizes the desire with the feeling, and the something better may be the universe saying to you, I've got something better in mind that really suits you and matches that feeling 100%. So we want to be open to that and receptive to the Spirit guiding us through this process as well. I hope that answers all of your questions, and if not, please shoot me another one. We love to make sure that everyone grasps this wonderful concept that the Bible is trying to get ancient wisdom, trying to teach us the very creative process of how it works in our lives and how we embrace it. We see it working through the name Jehovah, through the 4 letters of the Hebrew that create the name Jehovah, that we pronounce in English in this way. And we see it in the story of Noah. And we see the names that we are the Noah and the sons that we bring forth and what they mean. And we see it in the story of Isaac and Jacob, in the unfolding of the desire of our heart being met. So we find the Bible echoing stories over and over again, helping us to understand this infinite wisdom of the universe and how the creative process works. Now, each week we ask you at the close of a class, what's your takeaway? What did you get from this class? What resonates deep within you? What sort of aha moment did you have? We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what really is speaking to you and what you gleaned from this class session. So if you'd be so kind as to type some sort of comment in, let us know what your takeaway is. Really appreciate it. And while you're doing that, we're going to go around the room and offer our students the opportunity to share a little about what their takeaway is. Let's begin with Steve Ginn. Steve, what's your takeaway?
When you're trying to manifest something, you have to be definite with your feelings and not compromise in that area. But you can have some flexibility with, I guess, the basics of what you're envisioning.
Right.
So that if there is something better, you just don't know what it is, you will be opening up to that possibility rather than trying to say, it has to be this, it has to be this. With the feeling, yes, but with the manifestation, to be open.
Right.
Well, once you've come to that point, then simply relax in gratitude, let it go. If you don't let it go, then it probably won't manifest.
That's right. Because letting it go is feeling as if it is so. And that's so important. Key component. Thank you. All right, Dr. David Carter, what do you have to share with
Mine
us?
is the same as Steve's. Define clearly what your desire is and then also be clear about the feeling, and then start living as if.
Right. Because I think it's, it's like to have a visual of what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. You say, okay, I'm looking for a car, okay, and here's something that I might like, but what's really important is I want to make sure that I have the feeling of what I really desire. Does it make me feel this way? Does it make me feel, when we purchased a home, it was like, I know we'll know the right house because we'll feel like this is home, and that's so true. We looked at so many houses and they all were great homes, but it didn't feel like home. And when we walked into the one that we currently own, we just said, wow, this is it. This is exactly what we're looking for. We feel that this is the manifestation of that which we've desired and expressed. So in each case, that this or something better unfolded from our initial idea, and it met the feeling 100%. Anyone else have a comment?
Yes, Holly Hill. Don't focus so much on the exact physical characteristics of what you desire. Focus on the feeling that you want, not on the package it comes in.
Excellent. Thank you, Holly. That's great. Appreciate that comment.
Tyrone
Has a comment? All right.
Yes. The Bible is an Eastern book and is to be taken seriously, not literally.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, and when we take it seriously, there's so many nuances that unfold for us. When we take it literally, we're going to miss so much. We're going to just be on the surface level and trying to figure it out. We really get led down a road of misinterpretation when we take it literally. All right, thank you so much. Anything else from any of our other students? If not, I'm so glad that you were with us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed our session. And I hope most of all that you are understanding that the Spirit of God is speaking to you. And tonight, the very voice of God is speaking to you about that which you desire and how to be a manifester of that desire. The Spirit of God is working in you and through you, and it's saying to you, just begin to define clearly the feeling of that which you desire. Live as if it is so, and it will manifest in your life. God bless you. We'll look forward to seeing you next week as we conclude the Neville Reader. So it's going to be our last class session on the Neville Reader by Neville Goddard. And again, we're going to begin then in 2 weeks our new class called The Basic Principles of Science of the Mind. And this workbook is an excellent tool. I really encourage you to purchase it, get it through Amazon, and you will just enjoy reading it. It's going to be filled with all kinds of notes for you, as well as questions that you can answer yourself through your own personal study. It's a great guide. I really appreciate having this available for each and every one. So make sure you get your copy in preparation for the upcoming class. I look forward to seeing you hopefully on Sunday at 11 a.m. for our celebration service, coming to you live on this same place. And you can also, by the way, if you have friends who are saying, you know what, I don't get a chance to catch this live, please know that you can go to Facebook and find these videos library. You can look at them or view them at any other time as well. Also, they're available for you on our YouTube channel, which is called City of Light Atlanta. City of Light Atlanta. Go there and you can view all kinds of services, workshops, classes, etc. that are libraried there for you to look through previous videos. And encourage others. If they don't have Facebook, they can certainly go to YouTube as well. Now, if you've enjoyed this class and it's been meaningful for you and really touched your soul or spoke to you in some special way, I would appreciate it if you would share a gift. You can do so by going to our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. And your gifts go towards enabling this ministry to continue in a very special way. So thank you so much for your generosity, and we appreciate your giving and sharing in this ministry here at Emerson Institute at City of Light. God bless you and have a great evening. I'll see you again.